Hi YouTube, it's Chagit again. Those of you who still cannot pronounce my name, it's Chagit. Yeah, with an Israeli ch. I want to start with a short update about my languages, and I will start with French, which is, my favorite language. I have to admit that I've been neglecting French for the last couple of weeks, but I have a good reason. I found new love. No, not a boyfriend. Um, I found my love for Italian again. I don't know why, but all of a sudden, Italian just, was all over me. I can't really explain why. I can, okay? Well, it started with two Italian students who are here in Israel, and I met them, and apparently we're gonna start traveling Israel together, which I'm really excited about. And I found out about this really incredible singer, Emma. She's Italian, and she's a pop rock singer. She has a really great voice, and her music is just really fun to listen to, and she makes me want to start, understand everything and study more Italian. And the last reason, I started printing out books here in my home for my computer, and I found I have these incredible workbooks that this is basically the best way for me to learn languages, workbooks. So yeah, all of this together makes me, make me wanna study more Italian. So I put more effort and focus on that language. Other than that, what else? Well, Japanese, I started reading this book from actually an Israeli author. It's not a reading book. It's more of a, I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's just, a really great book written by an Israeli author, and it talks about the relations between economics and our behaviors. It's written by Dan Ariely. If you know him, he writes in English. He's a really great professor. I really recommend you to Google his name, Dan Ariely. So yeah, I've been just reading the book and watching some TV shows. Now, as for Russian, that kind of, Russian forces me to put a lot of effort into it, because it's a different writing system, and it just, takes me much more time to read a text in Russian and to understand it than it is in, other language such as Spanish or Italian or whatever. So I don't really study it during the weekdays because I don't really have the energies to do that after a long day at school. So I come back home and I study whatever, French or Italian or Spanish, not Russian. So I don't really focus on the grammar right now, just reading and, vocabulary mostly. Yeah, I think other languages, still the same, French and Spanish and whatever. Yeah, just regular practices that I'm doing. Now, I want to talk now about the subject of this video, which is goals in language learning. See, many people ask me how many languages do you know? And that's where my philosophy comes up. I ask them back, like, how do you define to know a language? And most of the time they'll be like, how many languages can you speak? And that's where I say, you know what, that has to do with me as a language learner and my goals in each and every one of the languages. See, I have different skills that I want to conquer, that I want to acquire in each language. For example, take for example Japanese, right? Now, Japanese, I don't really have friends, Japanese friends that I meet here on a daily basis. So for me, Japanese is not about speaking, it's about reading kanji and structures, just reading books. That's my goal in Japanese. So yeah, I can speak some and I can express myself to a certain extent, but my reading ability is definitely much higher, and that's actually that's what I am aiming for, you know? Like I said, I don't really, it doesn't happen that I, sit on the, wait online for, I don't know, in the post office and meet Japanese people. No. And the same goes for French. I don't have any French speakers around me. I have to find them. I have to look for them. And that kind of, so I don't see myself using it on a daily basis. That's why I don't really work on the speaking part, I love books, I love reading, and that's where I put my focus into. And the same goes for, Spanish and what else? And Spanish and Japanese and... Anyway, the only exception that I have is Russian. Now Russian, since my mother is Russian, and half of the people in Israel speak Russian, yeah, this is a language that I want to be able to speak. This is a language that I'm learning how to speak it, because I can use it on a daily basis, I don't really have to go and set up meetings with people so I can speak it. So, you see, I guess what I'm trying to say is that I don't really have goals. I don't really have specific ideal that I'm aiming for. I'm not, my goal is not to be able to speak the languages. My goal is to be able to understand and to read and to get a really high degree of understanding the language, how the language works, the structures. Yeah, the same. Actually, it's pretty much the same with my English. Like, I don't really get to speak it on a daily basis. Even though I'm an English teacher, I teach, elementary, and I don't really get to speak it on a daily basis. So that's why my speaking ability is, is less good than my reading and my grammar ability. Yeah, I think that's pretty much sums it all. Now, what I really want to know is, what do you think about that? How do you feel about speaking, about the definition of knowing a language as speaking it? What do you think about that? Like, what are your goals in language learning? Yeah, so I would love to read your comments. Feel free to send me messages. Do not offer me, do not send out friend requests on Facebook, because, well, you can send me friend requests, just message me before, just tell me who are you, introduce yourself. Don't expect me to guess who are you, because this last couple of weeks I've been getting these requests, but no, without any introduction. So I expect you, I love making friends, but I need to know who you are, right? So up until next time.